Look, I don't want to speak too early, but I don't understand how else he's supposed to go for the ball. Like, the ball's on the ground. He's won the ball the first time. He's won the ball the second time. And on the third attempt, players on the ground, and he's just going for the ball. I think in those moments, to establish intent is such a hard thing to establish. So for me, I think it's a bit harsh.
Because when an opposition player say prone on the ground and the ball's on them, and
yeah,
still going, it's the expectation that you just can't touch it. You got to wait for the.
But that's the thing, right? So if you're on the ground, then you inherently have an advantage, because if a player's not supposed to touch you, then that allows him to get a free pass off the ground. So I think there should be a right to challenge in those moments. Again, you can't be reckless, and I don't think he put his studs up, or I just don't understand how the referee or VAR can establish intent in that split second. If there was a longer period where the player had to think about it, I understand, but not in those moments. Again, we'll have to look at it again properly. I'm going to sit down. Potentially. I'm not ruling anything out. It also depends on the severity of the red. But again, if we go back on the video and it seems unfair, we will protect our roofs.
Considering you were down to 10 men at the end, you must be delighted to still with people. It's equal to being his highest ever points.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic, because the international break is it's very skewed. Like, I don't like it. The fact that you don't have a game, and then the fact that we had such a large chunk of our squad away, and then they're coming from the other side of the world, and I had essentially one day to prep. I had to make some big calls on players, not starting them, because I didn't want to have a dynamic where I had 5-6 players that were gassed all playing at once. That's something that you don't get a feel of until you play the game. So I'm delighted that we got the 3 points like any other game, and one thing I can safely say, that was our target for the year, was to get 46 points. That was after the Newcastle game. Some of the boys spoke about that, so I'm happy. So now every other point that we get is a bonus.
As coach, could you have dreamed up a better start in scoring from the kick-off, all 10 outfield players touching the ball at some point?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was all Phoenix ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I was happy, but I think that was to our detriment, I think, in the game, scoring so early, because when you score early, even, subconsciously, you maybe take a little bit, not saying that the boys dropped off, but, they're like 1-0 up, all right, we don't have to press as much, we're in the lead now, we're about, maintaining and managing the scoreline. So, that's any start like that. I was probably disappointed that we had some really big chances to finish the game a lot earlier, which I think would have opened up Brisbane a lot more, and we didn't capitalise. But again, 3 points, whether we win 1-0 or 5-0, I'm happy.
You had big chances, obviously. Sorry, big sliding doors moment with Dave Ball's high stats.
Mm-hmm.
How did you see that?
Again, when he takes the first touch, he has no idea where Aldred is, and then Aldred puts himself in a position to head the ball rightly, and again, Bally doesn't know where he's at. Even the height of the ball, I think, from memory, it was just below or just a little bit above waist, so it's not quite high. So I think if you think Bally has intention there to, or he's reckless, I think that's very harsh. So I think the referee's made a right call.
It did feel like there was a lot of aggro in the match. We got the furthest away seats in the stadium, so it's hard to tell, but particularly after that red card late.
Yeah.
That feel over?
No, not really. I think it was more the context of the game. Brisbane needed to win in order to keep their season alive, and obviously we needed to win in order to, cement our first spot. So I think it had that dynamic, but I think all the games from now till the end of the year, even the Adelaide West United game the other day had a bit of a bite to it. I feel like it's that time of year where everything is worth something.
6 points, sorry. 6 points fair now, but you obviously play Central Coast next.
Yeah.
How big is that match with them being just behind you guys?
Yeah, it's massive. I don't want to overblow it and say, we're going into that game thinking that if we win that game, the season's done. It's not like that. For us, again, we're going to take game by game. We want to get the best result we can, best performance for the next game. Obviously, it's against second spot. They're a really good team. We respect them highly. Even when we played them here, it was a very cagey match, and tactically, I thought both teams were very close. So for me, we go into that game, with the intention to do the best we can, and then we still have another 3 games after that.
And Ben Old was one of the players to come off the bench today.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk us through maybe what was the inspiration behind that? He's been playing very well this year.
Well, I think my thinking was this would pan out the way it did, the game. It would be a little bit cagey, and I needed something off the bench. Oscar Van Hadem, even though he gives me speed and legs, he's been injured for the last couple of weeks, so there was a bit of uncertainty, and I thought it was too much pressure to put those younger boys in, like Supek and Gab Rodriguez in, just because of the context of the game. So I think I wanted to go down the approach of having something that can change the game off the bench. So I think Oldie actually, when he came on, created 2 big chances and gave us a different dynamic, and I think if on a better day, we probably score a couple of goals because of that. So that's the impact I wanted. But for me, again, he's the sort of player that, he's been very, very good for us. So, being off the bench won't be too many times from now to the end of the season. Again, I couldn't see, mate. I saw...
Where are you watching?
I was watching. No, but I watched the replay from our half, and it looked like clearly it was on. And then I watched the one from behind. I go, okay, it might be off. But the longer it took, I felt like, this might be very similar to the game where Oldie scored. Was that Adelaide? I think it was the last where it was Adelaide with his right foot on our half. So I thought, we're in with a chance here. And then Lockie told me it was off. So until I watch it properly,
Just back
I won't know. Yep.
So broader look at the game as a whole. I mean, you gave up 19 shots, also made 8 saves.
Yeah.
Were you second best today, or do you feel like you can afford to give up that many shots and still to achieve?
Do you think we're second best?
Sorry.
Do you think we were second best?
Well, you did have probably the better chances.
Okay.
But certainly not the number of chances, like a little bit of input in the next box.
Yeah. I would say a majority of their clearer chances were from our mistakes, and we had the better chances. So I felt like we were probably the better team. Was it our best? No, I don't think so. I think we could play a lot better than that. But again, if you factor in the big one about the fact half of our squad just came back from Egypt. We had 1 day to prep for this game. I'll take that performance. And there's nothing wrong with defending well. It's worked for us all year. Our block shot and defensive effort is all done by design. I think the one big chance where I thought AP actually did exceptionally well was the one just before, I think it was before half-time, to his right, when I think Roofs lost the ball top of the box. I thought that was a big moment. It wasn't top corner, but that was a big save because we weren't in set position. So, no, I don't think we're second best. Not at all.
The other one I was going to ask was concerning how close was he missing? So we just talked about that pre-match.
Well, yeah, it was touch and go. It'd be interesting to see how his head is after this. So he has 5 or 6 stitches, and the issue we have is he had an infection a couple of days ago in that cut, and then the problem is that the reopening from heading the ball. So the problem is if you have that infection, they've got to reopen. It can cause complications. But I think from all accounts at the moment, he's fine.
And how much of a loss would it be for this game, which Tottenham's
It'd be a massive loss, and he's our captain. He's been influential, and he'll continue to be that, even when he's not playing. But again, I think there's an opportunity for someone to step in and contribute to the team, and I think we've been about that all year. We've had a lot of injuries, we've had a lot of players moving between positions as well, which is quite taxing, even from a mental point, from the players' point, because they like being in one position. But everyone's stepped in, everyone's contributed, everyone's done really well. So, I'm gutted for Roofs because, again, he had the opportunity to go with the All Whites. I thought he played really well against Tunisia, and to come back and to get a red card like that was just a bit of a shame.
Last night, so thanks for being
I always thank him for whenever he beats anyone close to us. I thought they played exceptionally well last night. I thought that was one of the best performances all year from an A-League team. So, it was a nice bounce back after our performance. But again, Mariners, I think, they're a really good team. It is a dynamic as well. Sydney were at home, so they had a bit of an advantage as well. But it's twice now that they've beaten them, so they're doing quite well.
Fans dreaming of the Wellington v Talley grand final.
I'm not.
You're
Yeah, I'm not.
That's right.
Yeah.
Too far away. Not allowed
Too far away. Let's just get through Mariners first. But I think there's a story behind any matchup. So, but again, for me, the focus is on getting 3 points in the next game. We'll do it as well as we can, and then see where we end up at the end of the year. We're good. All right. Thanks, guys.